I knew what I signed up for. I knew I signed up to do the Ultimate Fighter against a guy who was coming back from a devastating leg injury, and it could have been, delayed. But I didn't think it would be delayed this long. And all of that is just deposits in the bank of me just wanting to absolutely smash this dude. Now I want to stay within myself. I don't need to get emotional about it and fight outside of myself, but there will be an extra hint of satisfaction of, I think, ending this guy's career.
I don't mind Mike. I don't mind him, to be honest with you. I'm gonna go after him. I'm gonna hunt him down. He's talking about he's talking about putting me on the back foot. There's not one man on this planet that's ever put me on the back foot on the opening bell. So we'll see off the bat what's what. And other than that, I'm happy with the matchup. I'm excited to get going, and that's it.
Chandler's always had a problem with southpaws, so that will give him a little bit of a problem in terms of how well Conor moves on his feet. But will Conor be the same fighter as he was previously? Will he have lateral movement like he does? Will he be clean and crisp with his boxing like he has been? Will he do those things? Will he be able to keep that bounce in his step past round 1.5?
If you ever shook Conor's hand, the dude's got a bigger fist than I do. Like he's got a melon of a fist. I'm like, what the heck, man? And no wonder he puts people out with that one hitter quitter punch. But he's back to his movement, man. You're going to see a better. I think he's listened to the fans. His last 2 fights with Poirier was kind of in that boxer mentality. He's got to get back to his roots of movement, and that's what we're going to see from Conor next time he steps out there.
I'm not hating on Conor, and I'm really excited for the fight because he's the most exciting guy. He is, because of the energy and the presence and the hype and the performances. You know what I mean? Win or lose, and there's been losses recently, there's still big moments, and the comeback's going to be something special, right? It really is. But I think with all that extra weight, it's going to be an issue because not only making weight sucks, but making weight also insists on discipline because you have to. Like if I was going to make 185 pounds, I had to do my road work. I had to follow a strict diet. I had to make sure I was getting my ass in the gym because I'm not going to make weight. And if you can be 185 pounds when he fights at 145 or 155, there's not that subconscious threat of missing weight, of not being successful, of having the big comeback, the greatest comebacks in the history of sports, be a failure, because having to make weight makes you disciplined. It makes you live that monk kind of lifestyle that fighters endure and go through, as what we talked about before with the full training camp with yourself. So what do you and then on top of that, he's not known for having the best cardio. But when you're carrying extra weight, whether it's muscle or fat, it's going to tie you down, it's going to slow you down, and it's going to definitely affect your endurance.
Yeah, and I wonder, I think for me, and it's a result of that injury, because Conor is as mentally tough as anyone out there, right? I mean, I've never seen anybody give an interview after a compound fracture. That just takes an insane amount of mental fortitude there. Yeah. And just the way that he performs. We've seen him under pressure so many times before, and he rises to the occasion. But I think what is a bigger concern, if I'm a part of the Conor camp, is how much has Conor improved with all of this time away from the sport? We're not competing against just some other guy and putting on another fight. He's still trying to be elite. And when the elite are training all the time and you've taken off a year and a half for this injury, or a year of, going out and doing boxing, and another year doing this and doing that and taking a break, if there is no consistent training, how good can he actually be? How can he improve as an athlete? So I think that's kind of the bigger mountain for him to climb at this stage of the game, when everybody are savages and are training every single day.
Yeah, no, keep dreaming, because that ain't the truth. I know my skill level has gone way up. So I'm excited and confident to go in and not necessarily prove those people wrong, but prove my support correct. That's always my goal.
Now, at the end of the day, we can get to June, and Michael Chandler can go and knock Conor McGregor out and shut him up and put away all the words that we have spoken negatively about him. Or he could not. And what if he doesn't? What if Michael Chandler doesn't get the job done against McGregor, then what? Where do you go from there? So for as good of a matchup it would seem to be for Conor, because Mike's going to play the game with him, Chandler's got a lot to lose too, because regardless of his results to this point, he's always stayed viable, and people have always considered him a contender, a guy that could challenge, a guy that could do all these things. But what if you lose to a guy that hasn't won much lately, coming off a 2-year injury?
I think for the Chandler, this fight, it's last fight for him. He gonna make money and that's it. He's gonna retire it, or if he lose, maybe UFC kick him out, because how many times he lose. For the Conor, I don't know. He's not gonna be good shape. A lot of drugs, alcohol, a lot of bad stuff. He's not gonna be in good shape, and it's gonna be hard to beat Chandler. But what I said before, finally someone's gonna win, I'm happy.
Man, I still see myself as the guy who's going to eventually fight for the 155 lightweight title, whether it's Islam, whether it's Gaethje, whether it's Charles, whoever ends up with the title after I smash Conor. I will be working my way toward that. Now, with that being said, I like being 190 pounds where I am right now. Fighting at 170 would be really nice. Fighting at 185 is basically just us not cutting any weight. But that's the thing that I think is missed with the fans, is they think, well, it's a weight class, so those guys must be bulking up. But really, we're just not cutting the weight down to a certain weight class. I will stay the same frame, the same stature, same muscle mass, continue to work on cardio, not eat cheeseburgers and pizza and ice cream all training camp. I'm going to eat the same. I'm just going to eat a little bit more and not be operating at a calorie deficit. So it'll be the best camp of my life, no matter what weight class it is.
There's one thing that Michael Chandler does do. He is a crowd pleaser, and he does like to appease everybody. Can Conor McGregor really get into his head? Could he do what he did to Cowboy Cerrone? Could he do what he did to Jose Aldo? I mean, does Conor McGregor still have that stigma? Those are other questions that I have.
Conor's got good power and good precision, and he's good at being patient. Mike has that explosiveness. He has the power and athleticism and wrestling and things like that. But I think a patient striker like that, I think that's somewhere where Mike has to be smart and he has to be patient. A little bit more patient than he's been. So that's just pretty much just my take on the whole thing.
No matter how dumb Michael Chandler fights, and he always looks like he's tired after like a round and a half, he always can take a step back, couple deep breaths, and he pushes on. I gotta give the guy credit, man. He's got balls. The guy stands in front of you. He will exchange. His chin's not what it used to be, but he still has a good chin. He still can take some big shots. Conor's gonna have to land clean and hard to get him out of there.
If you go back and you watch Michael Chandler's fight with Patricio Pitbull caught him with that beautiful right hand, because at times Michael Chandler will blitz. He will go for broke, and then eventually he'll end up getting caught, just like he got caught by Patricio Pitbull. I don't know, man. I'm kind of going for Conor.
I think Conor could still do it. Some people definitely get soft. That was the Marvin Hagler quote. He would say how difficult it is to run in the cold when you're waking up in silk sheets.
Yeah.
I've got the satin sheets, I've got the silk sheets, I've got the fucking Egyptian cotton duvets and pillows, I've got everything.
So why wake up at 5 a.m.?
Competition, man, competition. It's the best buzz ever. Well, how would you not want to do it? How would you not want to make this walk and experience this whole thing?